guys, I'm super excited. We got the e-bike that I have been waiting for a year and a half to come. And it's now coming off of that truck. So let's go take a look. This is a bike that can actually go 80 miles an hour. You will need a Class M1 license. But also it has an 80-mile range. It's got kind of a futuristic design, kind of like Westworld. And to be honest, this is one of the few campaigns that actually came through for electric bikes or electric anything. This one actually came with a separate package, and we're going to open the package right now. So this is the cover here. So it does come with this nice little waterproof case, similar to my jacket. Some bolts and a torque wrench. Very sturdy torque wrench. This is basically a marriage adapter. So you put the batteries in, and once you take the battery out, if you need to resync it, this little thing is going to do that. So if someone tries to steal your battery, they don't have this. Alright, so it looks like the package includes support here. So you're going to be able to register it with the DMV. They also include the manufacturer's certificate of origin, signed by Sondors. Alright, now the last piece is a battery charger. This is an 84-volt charger. Pretty quite heavy actually. And it comes almost like a power supply here. It's quite large. Runs off of 110. Hopefully I have the adapter for me. Well, actually, it comes with a Euro adapter. And it also comes with an American adapter. Here. And then this goes into the bike. This is the high voltage. Oops, this goes into the plug, and the other one goes into the bike. This one will charge the inside battery. And this one is for if you're charging the battery externally, like you're taking out the battery, then they can use this extra cord harness to do that. But very interesting. It doesn't look like it's weatherproof, so you have to be careful about where you charge it. This is the input voltage. It can take 90 to 265 volts, and it takes 10 amps. It outputs 84 volts and 18 amps. Really quite heavy.
So the get up and go is really amazing here. You basically can just go full throttle and, you know, get to 30 to 40 miles an hour pretty easily. Now the suspension is pretty nice because I can jump my weight here. However, some people have been complaining that it's too stiff. The brakes are awesome. It's always able to brake just fully in time. And you can see here that the pickup is pretty good too. I can go right away from 0 all the way to 25 in about 5 seconds. Now we're going to go over some of the drawbacks and some of the benefits of this bike. Number one is this remote looks very, very cheaply made. This is a different remote from the other remote. This is a smaller remote. It doesn't quite fit into the compartment here. I don't know if it should. It doesn't fit here. You just have to carry it in your pocket. But yeah, it's also really weird pushing. Let me show you what I mean. So let's say that I wanted to unlock the bike. I'm going to hit the unlock button, which is on the bottom here, very hard to see. Okay, it'll beep loudly. You cannot control the settings of that beep. To start it, you're going to hit the lightning icon here. Or you can hit the on button here after you unlock it. Okay, this guy here doesn't quite fit perfectly. He's kind of loose. So the quality of the holder here isn't really that great. You can see here that it is quite loose, and that's just how it is. So what happens is when we lock this in place,
This guy goes around the outer edge here. I got my phone. I'm plugging in here. So it's going to set up the charging, which is not on right now currently. Not sure why. Okay, I'll just leave it here. You can see that any type of phone is going to be hitting the connecting point right here. So it definitely needs to be a little bit longer. The phone needs to be smaller. This is a Samsung S21, so it'll fit there perfectly. But anything like an iPhone 14 Pro is not going to fit, so you're going to have to rely on wireless charging in order to charge the larger phones. They could have made the phone larger, or they could have made the phone wireless charger a little bit higher so that it can actually push the screen out to this area. Okay, or ideally put it somewhere in the front where you can actually see the directional GPS. Now in motorcycle school they teach you that you should be able to push in, so you'll be able to reset the blinker instead of having to turn. So that's just a minor little gripe. There is a low beam high beam setting here, so obviously you know, it's nice to have the high beam setting. It is not automatic, and for this price point, you know, it shouldn't be. There is no clutch here. This is the brake. So the brake is controlled by this handlebar lever, and that's pretty, that makes sense because there's no clutch. The good thing is that the mirrors are adjustable, the brake fluid is visible, they have it in a clear jar. So let's go to the other side here. The other side has the controls. One of my favorite things that I like is that you can actually reverse the bike. You'll hold down the reverse button, and then you'll just turn it slightly and it'll go backwards. That's something that you're not going to get on a bike. This is the hazard lights. So tail lights, hazard lights, front headlight, I guess the extra headlight. All right, let's turn to the controls. So right here is the gear lever. Lights, nice and bright, very reminiscent of a old Mustang that I had. It's got the nice green. All right, some of the other things I see is the revs. So the equivalent of how much torque is being used or horsepower, the amount of battery. There's a total of about 10 bars, and right now I'm on number 7. There's a trip mile sensor, and the nice thing is that it defaults to miles per hour as opposed to kilometers per hour. Now it's not clear to me how we can set that up or how we can reset it, so I guess we'll kind of have to wait for guidance on that, because this could be just the trip usage when you take the bike out and then bring it back. So right now it has 0, but let's say that you go out on a ride, then it'll have the total trip calculated. And then it doesn't seem to have a cruise control feature, so you can buy a throttle lock and kind of lock it in place if you want to. This S stands for sport mode, so if you want to go past the 60 to 65 miles per hour into the 80 zone, you're going to hit that there. Right side brake is here, pretty straightforward. The brake fluid is right here, just like the other side. And then you've got the adjustable mirrors on this side here, which is very useful. Alright, so the first impressions other than that is that the bike also has regenerative braking. The throttle response is amazing, and you can accelerate very, very fast. Now the battery is promised to be easily removable so that you can charge it, let's say you're at work, but it is not. You actually have to unscrew it.
The other thing that I really like about this is that the lights are fairly easy to use. So if I wanted to use my turn signals, I can easily push that. And I've also got a bright front high beam, which is LED. And then I got a little horn, like that's the horn. Now it does feel pretty substantial, so you can see that it's able to maintain a low center of gravity pretty nicely. So it's kind of able to keep up. Now let's test the brakes. I'm about 20 feet away from stop. Pretty good brakes, amazing braking system. Just that get up and go is amazing.